Welcome back. On the ballot, voters will be asked if they support an increase to the gas tax to fund public education. Austin Cox is the campaign manager for Our Schools Now. He's here to discuss the question and why some say it's crucial to education here in Utah. Austin, welcome to the show. Thanks for being here.
Thanks, Glenn. Appreciate it.
So this is all part of the grand compromise that Our Schools Now came up with the governor and the state legislature. Start off with the ballot question. What does it seek from voters in Utah?
Question 1 is a chance for Utah voters to put our kids first and invest in their future. There's really two key stats right now. More than 50% of Utah kids aren't proficient in math, science, or English. That's across the state of Utah. And almost half of Utah teachers are leaving the profession within their first 5 years of teaching. So this would increase investment in Utah schools directly inside the classroom to Utah students and Utah teachers to improve student success and teacher success.
Let's break it down, what it would mean for each individual Utahn. They're going to be asked if they support a 10-cent increase. What does that mean overall to people in the state?
Yeah, and I think it's a good question to bring up. Why the gas tax, right? I don't think people realize that for several years, the legislature, instead of raising the gas tax, has been moving funds from the education fund, or from the general fund, over to transportation, and that's been decreasing the amount of funding available to education. So this, if passes, would increase the gas tax by 10 cents, which is just $4 per month for the average Utah driver.
So obviously it would be more for some driving a truck and less for others, maybe with a hybrid type vehicle.
Right, it's about, for the driver that drives about 12,000 miles, that's $4 more per month.
Okay, and it would generate how much to be put to use in classrooms?
In classrooms, it's $150 more per student each year. And again, it's important to know that this is really an innovative way of funding, a better way of funding than we currently do, because it's going straight to the school. The school gets to decide how they want to see those funds invested, whether it's teacher salaries or classroom sizes being reduced, and it's going straight to the classroom, not district administration, not school construction, but we really want to make a difference in student performance and student achievement.
What have you heard from districts on that? Because I've heard some say, I'm not so sure about that part. We want to have some say over it.
Well, so there's still say at the local school board, they have to approve and they manage to make sure the funds are being used appropriately. We don't want funding not being used appropriately. Those are important tax dollars. So the local boards that are elected at the local school districts will continue to oversee this so that the funds are being used correctly. But in the end, it's the local school boards and the local schools, parents, principals, teachers that get to decide how the funds are being used. And this is really a great opportunity for us because not only are policymakers, Republicans and Democrats, Governor Herbert and the legislature, but also the public education community is supportive of this, from the PTA, the Utah Education Association, and school boards and superintendents.
Yeah, to this point, haven't really seen a lot of people speaking out against it as far as opposition goes. An important distinction, though, this is a non-binding question, which means if I vote for it, it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to happen. But do you believe it'll put enough pressure on the legislature that if it passes, they will say and follow through on that?
Like you said, this is part of our agreement with the legislature. They recognize that education needs more funding, but they wanted to get public input. We gathered 150,000 signatures prior to the legislative session trying to get this issue on the ballot, and so we think it's the best thing to go to the people, give the public some participation in this, and if the people say, yes, we want to do this, the legislature has given us every assurance. We're working with them on a daily basis to make sure that if the people say yes, the legislature will come through and enact the increase.
All right, we've got a lot of key points out, but still just scratching the surface. Where can people find more information about the question they're going to be weighing in on?
Question 1, it's a for or against. So you got to vote for question 1, and you can see more information at utahkidsfirst.com. It's important, it's Utah Kids #1ST, so utahkidsfirst.com.
Okay. And you guys are also at ourschoolsnow.com for your organization?
Now as well. Yep, Facebook as well, Our Schools Now.
All right, great to have you on the show. Thanks so much for being
Glenn.
here. Appreciate it. Coming up, polls are showing Utah's 4th Congressional District as a toss-up. Our panel will provide some analysis right after the break. Stay with us.